All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're into the pro section of this competition. Yes, indeed, the open women's slalom will take precedence over the next few minutes here at the 2020 Travers Grand Prix. And guess who I've got next to me? I've got Mr. Wade Cox, fresh off his set of interviews dockside. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing awesome. It's so awesome to be here. Tony, I apologize for that. Mike is on. Yeah, I just sat down here. It's really, really fun to be back here at Travers. I was here with you, Tony, when we were, in our teens, and we went from being students here to working here, and now all these years later to be back here while Travers is hosting this event is really, really fun.
Yes, indeed. And let's have a look at Brianne Dodd. It looks like she's going to go in at 14.25 meters, 14.25 meters. To get her challenge off to a sprightly start. Okay, so let's have a look and see. Looking in good form, 6 buoys, 14.25 meters. And all right, let's have a look at the starting list of our skiers. Got Brianne Dodd up there. Then we've got Alicia Bagnoli of Italy. Elizabeth Montavon of the United States, the sole American representative in this open women's slalom. Then there's Jamie Ball from Canada. And then finally, Manon Costard. So great array of talent there.
No, it really is. I mean, even our first skier here, Brianne, a recent mom. We did a little interview with her earlier, if you saw that, with her daughter Aria. And Brianne has been a long time member of the Canadian water ski team and been a pro for many years. So although the field is only 5 deep, we're starting off with a bang here.
Yes, indeed. And just looking at the tail end of that opening pass, looking fantastic, as a matter of fact. Not looking bad at all. 14.25 meters should be easy meet there for her. And 13 meters comes up next. One-handed gate shot. Nice, nice. Very, very patient. Very stable on top of her ski. Not doing anything in the turn too much to really distract her from her balance, to destabilize her any way, shape, or form. Just allowing the ski to do what it's designed to do. And there's the ski round 6 buoys.
Yeah, she should be able to make this next pass, and it'd be really awesome to see her make her most of the way down 38, or even make the 38 or 11 meters. You'll see her right at 2 and 3. She gets a little loose with the line. We talk about line control. Really, really nice stack position out of 1. She got a little bit maybe too far away from the handle there at 2. But nice correction there. And then we see a big reach there, maybe sort of an after effect of her ball too, maybe a little overreaching there. Maybe we could have had that left hand on the handle a fraction longer outbound to the 2-4 side, but really another just warm-up pass. She's sort of feeling out. We have almost perfect conditions, Tony. Hardly any wind blowing in either direction.
Yes, indeed, and we see a couple of the male skiers are doing some warm-ups. There's one across the way there, right around the trees, doing some high-stepping knee kicks over there just to get nice and supple and limber. But on the water right now, this is 12 meters, this is 35 off, and this is Brianne Dodd. Look at her go, keeping the ski out ahead of her. Oh, look at that. Making this look, I was going to say relatively straightforward.
Yeah, she made that a little bit harder than she needed to. We're going to see her on the back foot out of ball 2. And from there, she just managed. She had still enough space, but she knew she could have finished a little better at 2.
Yeah. But I mean, not looking bad.
No, there we see the backside of 1 was just really, really nice tight stack position. There was maybe that little bit overextension again that we saw at ball 2 on the 13 meter or the 32 off.
All right.
And there we little bit of safety check. She just knew, hey, I've already done enough work. Let's certainly not blow it at this point.
Ooh,
there again at
she
ball
almost
5.
did.
Same deal, maybe a little too much of a safety check and moved to her back foot, but that's what's nice about that awesome start that she had at 1 and 2. It gives you that extra space at the end of the course when you need it.
Okay, let's have a look at Brianne Dodge. She'll be making her way around the island behind that Nautica towboat, that 6.2 litre engine. Member of a team that also has Steve Island and Dan Abracia. Here we go. Team Brianne on the water. Hui, looking strong off number 1. This is 38. Oh, look at this. Oh, that ski releasing on her coming into buoy number 3. That the actual fin actually came up out the water into a pre-turn.
Yeah, that was a bit of a bummer. I know she was in decent shape. It looked as there you see that one-handed gate and really nice positioning there. She knew she came up a little bit short though, Tony. Once she left the second spray line going out to 1, you could see her overextend her reach again. We talked about her doing that toe side. You could see her doing that again there into 3, where hasn't created enough space, so she has to overextend the reach, and that really messes up your rhythm.
Really does, and it is that gives her 2.5 at 11.25 meters. At least the is into 39.5 off. About, I think, 1.5 buoys is a PB there.
So, Tony, we've gone directly from a right foot forward skier with Brianne to a left foot forward skier in Alicia. So, for those of you ladies at home, if you would ask, hey, well, who should I watch? I always say, well, pick someone that's has the same foot forward as you, and maybe even more the same body type as you. And then, therefore, there may be someone that you could pick up some YouTube video of them and just by simply watching them ski, make yourself a better skier.
Including some of the coverage right here on TWBC. I mean, it's been an absolute library of skiing action this year.
Well, Tony, it was really cool. I just came back into the set room here, and I told the guys I'd just been up in the car and I'd watched you announce on 3 or 4 of the skiers, Dave Wengirter, Federico and Luisa. So great camera angles. Just a really outstanding job TWBC is doing with these coverages.
All right then, and glad to have the support of Ski with Wade as well. And you can check him out on Instagram, Ski with Wade.
Well, thanks, Tony. Yeah, this is the first event I've been involved with sponsorship, and sort of my home away from home, being Travers. And so I was speaking with John a few weeks ago right after the Malibu event, and I said, hey, let's do this. And so Syndicate stepped up a little bit more. So, no, it's really my pleasure to be here.
Why, thank you, indeed. This is 13 meters now. Getting in a little bit deep. 13 meters should be a pass that's well within her wheelhouse. And there you go. Nicely done.
Yeah, and Alicia is the girlfriend of Vince Stadlebaur. So she, when she is not skiing, she's in the sound room behind closed doors. Yeah, watching the cameras. I think we have 5 or 6 different cameras set up here, Tony. So it's quite the operation. I posted a picture of Johnny behind earlier, and a few of the people have commented, "Wow, that's a lot of gear."
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we're just pushing the outer limits, the outer realms of what is possible. And here we go. Is Alicia Bagnoli. 14 and 13 meters under her belt. No worries there. We'll see what she can do with the next pass. It is going to be 12 meters. And here we are. We're back. There we go. There are our sponsors. Waycox is right there to my right and on your left. Ski Doc, Jack Travers, TWBC, Mike DeMello, Mike and Kerry Morgan, along with Syndicate and Ski with Wade. Look at this. This is 12 meters, getting a little bit behind, but she has the strength. She has the poise. She has the patience, and she has the pass. Nicely done. All right. Alicia Bagnoli.
No, that was awesome, Tony. Same start as we saw her to get at the 28 and the 32, where we like to say backside and one. Really nice tall stance on her gate glide. Gets into an awesome stance, stack position there. Yeah, look, backside, that's the way we want to do it. Create enough space right there at 2 where we've basically beat the course, which she did, and now we just get to manage it.
All right, and doing very well on that number 2, considering she's left foot forward. It's the neutral side turn. And look at this on number 4. Just skis to the handle, just pummels it. Round number 5, she can safety check that one and get round number 6.
Yeah, no, that was really, really good skiing. She's a very strong skier, very balanced. You don't see her moving forward and aft on the ski too much at all. It's just sort of right over the center of her bindings, and that keeps center mass all the way up through the spine to the shoulders balanced.
All right, so let's see what Alicia can come into the course with. It is 11.25 meters. That here we go. Here comes Alicia. 11.25 meters. 38 off. Gets a good start on buoy number 1. Look at her go round. Oh, look at this. She gets the start. She's round buoy number 3. She will ski for the wakes. Gets the 3. That sets the top score right now for 2 competitors. 3 and 11.25 meters.
Well, it does, Tony. And what the ladies are vying for is a 3-spot final. So they're going from 5 to 3. So at this point, yes, that is the top score, and it'll be the 2-round total. It'll be the best of the 2 rounds. So at this point, 3, maybe 4, 4, maybe 5 is going to be sort of that cut line that we'd be thinking that after 2 rounds would be able to advance you to the top 3.
All right, so now that is Alicia. That was 3, 11.25 meters. And now we've come up to a rather intriguing competitor. Her name is Elizabeth Montavon. Take a look at Alicia's telemetry. Now we are giving a $500 cash prize to whoever could get the highest ratio between their body weight and how much that they've exerted upon the boat using our tension system. And for Alicia Bagnoli, it's 3.5 to 1.
Yeah, that's a little bit more of a fair comparison versus the sort of strongman contest where the strength to weight ratio is not necessarily in the mix, if you will.
All right, so let's have a look at that. All right. All right, this is 14.25 meters. 14.25 meters opening pass for Elizabeth Montavon. Now, she's been growing in stature and confidence over the last few weeks. She placed on the podium at Mooma Masters earlier on in the season, and she's skied relatively well in 2 subsequent pro events, the Hilltop and the Malibu Open, which was 2 weeks ago. She was a little disappointed that she made it through 11.25 meters, but didn't make it through outside the course, and that grinded her gears a little bit.
Yeah, but like you said, Tony, she's on a really steady incline, a bit of a late bloomer, but she's gotten herself super fit and really strong on the ski, and you can tell when she finishes like right there. I mean, that's as good as it gets. The lead oblique and the elbow are connected. The arms are straight. Just a slight little flex in the ankles and the knees. Very efficient.
Yes, indeed. Very, very efficient out there. And she's definitely a skier to watch out to watch out for, And she's been on Instagram for quite a while. She's into all of that social media stuff, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and what have you, especially Instagram. And some of the stuff that are read in the last few days and weeks have definitely been quite interesting. Here we go. This is Elizabeth Montavon. Nice. 32 off. Hardly a beat of sweat.
No, I tell you what, Tony, that was about the best pass we've seen all day. I mean, you just see how much space she had out at 1 and 2. But watch the tip of her ski. It stays exactly the same height off the water, which means her feet are staying really quiet.
Yeah.
Watch right there. It was just a little bit of a tip rise, but not much.
Now, that's something that she's been working on extensively over the last few weeks from what I've seen of her practice sets that she's published onto it on Instagram. She's been very, very conscious of the fact that there is a little that she has a tendency to rise the tip at the end of the turn, and then she has to delay a second and a split second, then get back down again. She's wanted to try and mitigate that as much as she can.
Well, it's just simply the feet. Our brain sending signals to the feet that we're ready to go before the ski's ready to go. So we add a little bit extra load to it, and that stops our momentum from going forward. Now we sort of shifted from toes to heels. Then the ski comes up. You're right.
Yes, indeed. Let's have a look and see. This is Elizabeth Montavon. Nice one. Look at that. She is left foot forward, though, so that 1-3-5 side turn is going to be better than the 2-4-6. This is 35 off. She keeps the ski out ahead of her. I tell you what, she's skiing like a woman possessed.
You know, that's awesome. She ran the 12 or the 35 off. I wouldn't expect any of these ladies to miss that, so it's very nice to see that. What I am expecting now is for this next pass to be taken down. You talked about it. She ran 6 at 11 or 38 off at the last pro event, but with no continuation.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to get her into the 10-7 now.
Yes, indeed. And she knows that she's got to go pretty much perfectly to get through 38 off. There is a little room for error, a little wiggle room, but not much. And that's the case with every shortened line length. You know, the room for error is chopped down just a little bit until there's absolutely no room for error whatsoever.
Well, Tony, I heard you when I was taking a little break watching the webcast. You had Federico up at 39, and you pointed that out, that if we don't create the space early in the course, we have virtually no chance.
Yeah.
But if we create enough space, now we just need to manage this.
Indeed. All right, then. Here's the format. Best score out of 2 rounds. Top 3 women go through to the next round of the competition, which basically means we eliminate 2 out of our roster of 5 Whoa! That is not going to be her cup of tea, I'm afraid.
No, you could literally see her go airborne at the right-hand gate, and she gets pitched out and was off balance, which if you're off balance, that means you're really not picking your line right there.
Yeah,
you
right
see
there.
How much the ski was lifted at. So she was extremely heavy with her feet through the gates to create that bounce. So whether she felt like she was late, she had a bad visual, or she just simply didn't trust the line, but she definitely had too much feet load, and you'll see it again here.
Or maybe she just overextended herself there. Boom. She could have still recovered it, but unfortunately, by the time you try and reset your balance going that quick, it's the
no, that's it. As soon as she landed, she had to recover momentarily, and you could see where we talked about with Alicia and with Elizabeth on her first 2 passes how tight she was. You could already see she was down course there, and then forced the issue with the pushing in the feet and created far too much load for her to handle.
All right, then. So basically, it's a little too early at this stage to start sending females through to the final, but with Alicia Bagnoli in the lead and with two skiers remaining on this list and 3 going through to the next round, she's certainly set herself up well to advance. And that will be Alicia. Here comes Jamie Bull, our next competitor. 32 off. Looks absolutely magical out there. Just really, really power reaches a little bit. As she comes into the turn, especially into number one, she extends a little further, and then she brings it back and then skis back to the handle.
Well, you see how stacked she is, how connected she is, especially right at the second weight going out to one. You see really nice handle position there. There she's in a great stack position. She maintains that until it's time to reach. She doesn't let go with the right hand early and get in a pre-reach position too soon. This allows her to carry her outbound momentum, and that's why recently she's been the 10th lady to conquer the 10.75 meter pass, or the 39.5 off pass.
Yeah, and it looks like her reach looks like it's creating a circle. She's like the reach comes slightly down for starters, then she circles it back up. Then by that time the ski comes round and the outside hand has made contact and you're hooking up and rolling.
Well, ultimately the ski is going on a half circle. So there's a forward swing, meaning at the buoy, but away from before the buoy there's a sort of a backhand swing, as if we were swinging a club or a
tennis racket, yeah.
Throwing a football.
Nice. Look at this, 35 off.
So as if when we come into the ball one, even though we're going to be turning left, we need to go right with our body before we go left. So as we talked about the backswing, and we're going to see it here. We got a great camera angle. Look how far back her right hand got. And the more her left hand went forward and up, the more she allowed her right hand to come back. You'll see it again right here. And now you can see her right shoulder back trailing, meaning she's counter-rotated with the ski to make up for the fact that she's on a toe side turn.
Mm-hmm.
Where that body position is natural on our heel side, we need to manufacture that on our toe side.
And just keeping everything going forwards. There you go. Great body position off 5 into 6. Just meets up with the handle, and it's 6 buoys. All right, our graphic shows that is 38 off. So she started at 32 off then.
Oh, I'm sorry if I was just fully under the assumption that she was at 32 off already, because I watch her practice quite a bit, and that's sort of become her standard deal, much like the men do.
Yes, indeed. And there are only a few women out there that are actually comfortable starting in at 32 off, and you're seeing one of them right there.
Yeah, you're right. It's another sort of level that you have to be at to know that your third pass, which she had right there, is already going to be 38 off for 11 meters. But she's fully comfortable. She could make this with a tailwind, which would be setting up her 10.7 with the headwind. Today there's no wind, so it made it sort of a no-brainer that she'd go at her normal 32 start speed.
And having that kind of confidence, out on the water comes from having confidence in your equipment. And I mean, just that ski just like rotates
Well, she does a great job. You see there's very little movement outside of that reach hand forward and up, the trail hand back. There's not very much movement at all with any of the other body parts. So once she gets back to that extended position, then she's really, really patient and just same as if she was riding a skateboard or a snowboard. She just stays balanced over the front foot and allows the ski to do what it's made to do, and then that takes her back to that stack position again.
And it's like baseball in that kind of respect. You're teaching a kid how to bat, and that he could just like whack away at that ball as hard as he can, but unless you teach him how to balance over your feet, here you go. Whoa, look at that, into 39.5 off, and as I was talking about balance.
She's similar to Elizabeth. She, even though it's getting really short, and that's once you get to the next pass, there's even a little bit more of a bump there where you're so close to the back of the boat that it creates that little bit of a trough, we call it.
Yeah.
And same as with Elizabeth. She came around there and her feet were not in a very happy place, Tony, because, yeah, she blew the ski out of the water, and that's when that happens. It's just the brain sending the signal, hey, we're going to hit the panic button, and hard.
She got twisted a little bit. She got a little sideways going through the entrance, like she lost her stack, going through the middle of the gates. And whenever you lose that, and you're still trying to push that ski out from an angle point of view, then you lose it.
Well, you can certainly see that's what caused that. And normally, for a righty like Jamie, it's a bad visual when she turns in on the gate. That she's her vision's telling her, I've got to go harder than I normally would if everything's under a good circumstance. So she got compressed, we call it.
Mm-hmm.
Too much knee bend, too low, and then that caused a bounce. And you could see, as we mentioned with Elizabeth, when you're landing and you're concerned about your balance, then we're not necessarily concerned about picking our line at that point. And that momentary lapse, that's all it takes. We've only got that split decision to make that. And if there's a minor little error in that, well, it's already over.
Indeed. So we're now down to our last competitor. It is going to be Manon Costard, our final female competitor in this first round of pros. Manon Costard. And I wouldn't imagine her starting anything shorter than 13 meters or 32 off.
Yeah, Tony's sort of the same. It's in her everyday wheelhouse to go 32 off.
Mm-hmm. Here she comes. Looking very, very smooth. 32 off. Keeping it going. Don't see much wrong there, Wade.
No, and just as I was going to say it, I heard Hank Longo, who's on the live PA here, say our world champ on the water, and that's what we have. She's the reigning world champ, and she's won the U.S. Masters as well. I would say the two most prestigious events in the world. So, yeah, that's enough said right there.
Yes, indeed. Manon Costard also has a whole bunch of European titles at almost every level aside from over 35s at this time. She hasn't even gotten to that stage in age yet, and she's still got plenty of years left in the elite division before she would even contemplate that level. But
really nice camera angle from the boat there. You could see, especially out on our toe side on our 2-4, you could see that extension that we were talking about with Jamie, and you could see as her right hand went all the way forward up, left hand went back, and you could put a construction level across, and the bubble would be centered.
All right, here we go. These are our top three right now that would advance through to the next round of the competition if the competition were to be halted now. Here we go. This is 35 off. This is Manon Costard. Nice. Just good connection from one side to the next. I like her style. That is Manon Costard.
Hey, so we're going to watch here. We're going to get a replay, and we're going to watch her hand action. Watch here as the left hand reaches. The right hand goes back at exactly the same tempo. Right here, right hand reaches forward and up, left hand drops back, but you see them moving in sync. They're in a very nice tempo. Her hand action isn't faster than it needs to be, causing some disruption in the flow. Really nice pass.
Yes, indeed, and one or two of our folks that have commented absolutely agree with that assessment. Very, very smooth from Manon Costard. Two passes to the good right now, 32 and 35 off, 38 off. If she gets more than 2.5, then she'll put herself in one of the top three spots. But obviously, if if she feels frisky enough to complete the pass, then why not? So here we go, 11.25 meters off 38 off. Les Todd at the helm of that beautiful ski nautique towboat as it accelerates up to speed, 55k. This is Manon Costard. Look at her go, 38 off. Little bit of a bounce into number 2, little bit of a delay off that turn as a matter of fact. But I'll tell you what, she stays calm, she stays collected, and she stays with the pass and gets 6 buoys at 38 off. She's through, provisionally through to the next round. We've still got some more pro rounds to come, but it's looking pretty good so far as Manon is concerned.
Yeah, that was just business as usual. She, as you would think, she's going to rip the backside of one. Nice stack position out of one. Yeah, everybody in the world wants a one ball like that, huh? Look at the extra space in the 2 that she's got. Little safety check. We see her on the back foot, but she already knew off that gate in 1 that she had enough to run the pass, and then she managed it well.
Just waiting on that ski to fully rotate, and then creating that wedge off the end of the turn through towards the other side of the wake.
If you time your movement outbound and your rhythm of your reach, that's what the ski wants. And then the ski wants to go in and turn that aggressive. And if at that point we just allow our body to follow.
All right, then, our webcast sponsors. We've got yourself, Ski with Wade, and we've got Syndicate, along with Jack Travers. We thank them very much indeed. Our lead score right now is half at 10.75 meters by Jamie Bull. This is 39.5 off. That's 1. That's the lead. That's 2. That extends the lead. This is number 3. Oh, look at this. Never mind 3 or 4. She's going to try and go for the pass, and it looks like it is going to be a 4 buoy count at 39.5 off, 10.75 meters. Wow, that is some grand skiing there.
Well, it really was, because she virtually lost the line on the back of 1 here. And just to show you how, yeah, there we go, lost the line. The tip came up a lot. But to show you how good she is, she still gets to 4 with basically an average 1 ball or worse.
Yes, indeed, and almost assuring her of a lock.
Yeah, I would say that would be in. And then even Jamie's score with a half of 39 sort of, maybe bubble. The rest of the ladies, I'd say, would have a bit of work to do.
So we're going to take a look at the leaderboard in just a few moments. So we should be able to tell you provisionally, as it stands right now, with the first of 2 rounds complete, who is on the who is making an inroads towards the final of the competition, the top 3, and who's potentially going to be on the outside looking in. So we're going to get ready with Pro Men's, and before we do that, just want to ask Wade a little bit about Ski with Wade and what's that's all about.
Well, I've been doing clinics, Tony, on the road for 25 years or so, and my business is doing well, and I've gotten into this sort of webcasting with you the last few events. And I thought it was a great opportunity. I'll be doing a Ski with Wade camp right here just after the Swiss Pro, which will be a Sunday, October 11th. So the 12th, 13th, 14th will be right at the top of the hill. We'll have a villa. We'll have one of the lakes. We'll have one of these nautiques. So if you want to sign up, go to Wade at skiwithwade.com or check out my website, skiwithwade.com.
All right, so get after it, folks. This is Zane Nicholson. He's on the course at 32 off, and he is getting after it. Now, he's a skier that's definitely on another planet.
Well, Zane is, you may know of him through maybe his sister, his little sister, who's Allie Nicholson. Shout out to Allie. She's working this weekend, and an RN up in the Pensacola area. So Zane is same as his sister, a very decorated slalom skier, and now he's become a a very decorated coach. There's our start list for the men.
Yes, indeed. There's Zane Nicholson, Tebow Daniel, Chris Parish, Corey Vaughn, Adam Sattelmeyer, Cole McCormick, Will Asher, Benjamin Stadlebaur, Jonathan Travers, and finally Fred Winter. So we're going to...
So, wow, Tony, you look at that list.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Everybody on that list is a junior world champ or a junior masters champ. They've all succeeded as pros now, and they've all got scores mid to deep 41. So this being an invitation style event with only a limited amount of spots, we're seeing a 10-man stacked field right there.
Yes, indeed. And I mean, you've got skiers that have exhibited recent good form as well. I mean, like Cole McCormick, for crying out loud. I mean he's been on fire, and so has Benjamin Stadlebaur. But let's have a look and see. Zane Nicholson, he went in at 32 off. This is now 35.
Zane just recently got second at the U.S. Open Men's Nationals, so that was a big deal for him.
There you go.
Competing against America's best. That competition was down in your neck of the woods, Tony, in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, in Louisiana.
At Bennett's. And Zane taking the silver medal. That was a big honor.
Yes, indeed, certainly. I mean, national titles that aren't just given to you. I mean, you have to work for them. And Zane Nicholson able to medal on the podium in the Open Men's Slalom competition. And I tell you, I mean, it's fun watching him out there slalom and seeing his level of progression. He, a native of Gatlin in Tennessee.
Well, we're talking about my coaching business. Zane's creating quite the name for himself. Not only is he his little sister's coach, but I've had 3 or 4 of my buddies that have come right through here to Travers Ski School, and they said, hey, I got to ski with Zane, and man, he helped me so much. So if you guys ever get the chance to ski here at Travers and ask for Zane, he's a nice guy. He'll help you a bunch.
All right, then. So here we go. He attended Florida Southern College, an alumnus of that fine educational institute. His personal best is 2 at 41 off. He's age 26. So let's have a look and see what Zane Nicholson can produce. Oh, and 38 off. That's not going to sit easy with him.
No, the only thing he's got on his side is he's got that other round tomorrow morning. So these pros there's 10 men, and they're going for 6 finalist spots. So they'll have a 2 rounds to put up their best score. So that's where he's going to get somewhat of a hall pass. At least he's got another shot tomorrow.
Yes, indeed, and he's really going to have to come up with a superb score to give himself any kind of chance of advancing through to the next round. He got the turn, and it was ready to go to the races, but I don't know. It just...
Well, sometimes, Tony, you were a skier, same as me. Sometimes you can be so mad from this moment to the time you go to sleep that it helps you ski really good the next day.
Yes, indeed. And actually, Ellie Nicholson commented in, thanks a lot for your support of Zane and actually, indeed, us. I mean, apparently she likes what we do.
Well, it's been cool for me. Obviously, you see Zane's riding the Syndicate. They're one of our sponsors. I've been involved with the Syndicate brand for 32 years now, which is almost Zane and Allie's age combined, you know. But it's cool to me because I'm their biggest cheerleader, as I am all these skiers. So, yeah, for me to get to come back and participate on another level here is a real honor.
All right, then, moving right along from Zane Nicholson, whose aspirations are to be involved in medical device sales, to a competitor who's really making a name for himself in the real estate world. This is Tebow Daniel coming up next.
All right, Scott.
Okay, so Tebow Daniel getting ready, 32 off. This is pretty much the standard line length for skiers at this level. We'll be talking to someone who started in at 32 off and came through with a tremendous score that has all but secured the skiers' entrance through to the next round of the competition. We got a French skier out onto the water. And as we get ready to enjoy his pass again, we got a French skier right here, but she just so happens to be Manon Costard. Manon, how you doing?
Good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. I am doing absolutely swell at this moment in time, and definitely all the better for seeing you ski out there on the water and getting into 39.5 off.
Thank you.
Good. So, I mean, the season has been a little bit abbreviated this year. Very few tournament events and very few opportunities for the pros to really excel. But you've definitely taken the opportunities as they've come around, and you've been skiing very well recently.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. As soon as there's a tournament that is getting announced, I get really excited. I sign up and I do my best to be there. So excited to have this one and 2 other ones coming up for the rest of the season, and trying to ski as well as I can.
And you certainly had a great opportunity to run 39.5 off. I mean, it's hard enough to be consistent at 35 and 38, but when it comes down to 39.5 off, that is a really big ask, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. I don't master it. So yeah, I'm trying my best every time I go at 39 and trying to do as many buoys as I can.
Well, we congratulate you on your great score at this time, and we'll let you turn your attention to a fellow French athlete out there on the water, Tebow Daniel, who's making light work of 35 off and will get around all 6 buoys. Manon Costard, thanks a lot. So good luck in the next round, and come and see us again sometime.
I will. Thank you.
No worries. All right, not bad at all there from Tebow Daniel, and interesting to hear from Manon Costard. Such a cheery disposition out there after skiing into 39.5 off, and she's happy, and the whole world around her is happy with her.
Yeah, she's just lovely, isn't she? Yeah, just really enjoy spending time around her. I've gotten to watch her for quite a few years now. Sort of same as Tebow. Getting to watch him. They're both lefties. They look very similar for those of you guys watching at home. They're both very athletic on their ski.
And I think another lefty is steering the boat right now. This is Scott Ellis. Not yet. We're not used to seeing Scott Ellis behind the wheel of a towboat in competition. What's up with that? Here we go. This is Tebow Daniel. This is 38 off, 11.25 meters. Yeah, nicely done. I like where this is going. This is 38 off, and very tall on the ski, and very active towards the end of each turn to get across course.
We're going to see Tony on ball 1. He led with his shoulder quite a bit, so there may have been some dysfunction through the gate, or he may just been a little bit impatient. We'll see it right here. Shoulder is out in front, hip dropped a bit, but he recovered nicely. We talked about how athletic he is. He was able to move himself into the stack position out of 1 so he could have the space to 2, and then 3 and 4, he's just managing this really nice. It's nice as a skier when we know, hey, I've got this run, and we relax that little bit more. The hands get a little softer, the feet get a little softer, then the ski rides better in the water. Vision gets better. We try to tell ourselves to relax as much as we can, but it's rather difficult sometimes.
All right, then. So the personal best into 41.
Oh, that's cool, brother. I didn't even know you were ever down there. That's very cool.
So with a personal best into 41 off, 10.25 meters, and French by nationality, but is a native to Mauritius. This is Tebow Daniel. He's been skiing since the age of 4, competing since the age of 6. An alumnus of Florida Southern College.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Right on.
Nicely done. There we go.
Yeah.
What was that, 39 and a half?
Yeah, no, it was. I really thought we talked about Tebow being an unbelievable athlete. He's a great tricker. He's a great jumper. He's been on the French national team. But he just keeps getting better and better as a slalom skier. And we see him just drop a bomb out of 1. And by the time he was out to 2, he had so much space. He already knew, as I mentioned before, on his 11-meter, when the skier knows that they've got enough space, it's like a football team having a lead. You know, you get this extra adrenaline that you wouldn't have if you were in this panic state, you know, where you were late. And it's a great feeling, I tell you.
That's like a 300-pound linebacker or a defensive tackle getting a pick 6, you know.
Well, it is. You just see once you know that, I was asked a few times, when did you know you were going to run the pass? And it varies. It may be on your gate. It may be out to 1. But normally by the time we create enough space out to 2, we know if we've got enough to run it.
Yeah.
And he knew at that point that he just nailed 1 and 2.
All right. Now, his personal best is 3 on this pass. 3 on this pass is the personal best. Let's have a look and see. Round 1. Tries to make a play on 2. Does he get for the wakes? Yeah, I think that's going to be 2 if the ski actually made it on the outside. We'll have a look at the instant replay to check for absolute certain.
Well, I asked Tebow and I asked Cole earlier. Said, hey, well, what do you think the cut line's going to be? And they know it's going to be more than 2 at 41. They think 2 right here, what Tebow ran, is going to be an if, but maybe a runoff situation.
Let's see. Yeah, that's 2.
Yeah, for sure. Great camera work, guys.
And he was well outside number 2 as well. I mean, there was no doubt.
So we're also talking about backup scores. Yeah. So if with Tebow having a 2 on the board already, if 2 becomes the number after the round 2, well, he's certainly glad he's already got this one on the board, because if he produces another one, that might be enough to move him through on a backup score.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to be mindful of that. Sometimes it's not just your best score. I mean, if it ends up being worthy of a multiple way tie, then it goes to that backup score to determine whether you advance or not.
Well, so we've already seen Zane go down early. So Zane's in the other end of it. He's got to go a home run next round,
which means he's got to ski out of his mind.
Yes, he's got to go top 6. So he's got to go probably 2.5 or a full 3 at the 10.25.
Which, knowing Zane Nicholson as well as I do, skiing out of his mind is pretty much par for the course.
So we got CP, the tower, on the water. And if any of you guys get to come and sign up for my Ski with Wade camp here after the Swiss Pro, October 12th and the 14th, we may have the tower here, but John Travers standing here just presented us with the trophy for the men's slalom champion. And nice. You might just get a chance to ride in the boat and watch John ski as well.
You mentioned Chris Parish. Guess who? All right, Chris Parish coming in. One of the very few people ever to have run 41 off. And a former world record holder at that. Look at this. He makes slalom skiing look slow.
Well, he really does. I had a lady down at the San Marcos River Ranch. Hi, Miss Mary. She rode in the boat with me. I said, hey, you should really ride and watch. I drove. It was her boat. And she sat there sort of in amazement because he ran a 32 off and then he ran 3 35 offs. And he was just working on his tempo. And after his 4th pass, she said, you know what, Wade? He never moved. And you can see him here. He just moves so little on the ski. So he's maximizing his efficiency.
That is beautiful. Doesn't get any better than that.
And the other joke back in the day was when Andy Mappel and I'd watch Chris Parish do his 4-pass warm-up at a tournament. He would normally do a 32-5, 38-39. And our joke was, wow, that's just 4 really nice 32 offs, because they looked identical to where everyone else, you could sort of see them progressively working harder. But CPU's just, like we talked about, he's so efficient with his movements. He maximizes his load in very, very small places. Just really, really max load for a really short amount of time. And then he's unweighted riding that line out to the buoy.
Speaking of lines, we're offering a cash prize and a brand new ski line to those that put the strongest pull ratio of this event. So it's not just the strongest pull, it's how much that is in relation to your body weight. The highest ratio will take the $500 cash prize plus a brand new Syndicate Pro slalom rope. Nice.
Yeah, really nice. You'll see on the replay, safety checks one little bit. Something just wasn't absolutely perfect for him, but once he got stacked out of 1, he got over to 2, he was right back into the rhythm he needed to be.
And there we go, just allowing the ski to just get up underneath his body, and then once it's fully rotated, then he uses his very, very considerable leverage to go cross course.
Yeah, really nice. You could see there a ball too. The tip of the ski never moved off the water, the height of it, and his body, you see there again at 4, his body's just in constant motion, moving towards the target, which is the center line.
Yes, indeed. And that ski that he's riding is?
That's an Omega. I think he's on a regular Omega.
Yes, he is.
He's been part of the design team of the Omega and the Omega Max, which is a new ski that HS Syndicate has. So he's been bouncing back a bit, back and forth a bit lately.
Yes, indeed. I actually spoke with him a little bit earlier on. He's riding the Omega, and a ski that's designed more for the heftier skier and those that actually ski at 34 miles an hour. So it's so that ski would definitely appeal to those demographics. And there we go, 38 off. He's on track.
Well, those for wondering what we're talking about at home, you can go into hoskis.com and you can see the Omega, and the latest addition to the line is the Omega Max, which is, if we're talking about those strength to weight ratios, Tony, if you got a guy that's 160 pounds and you got a guy like Parish that weighs 200 pounds, well, there's a really good chance that they're going to need different equipment. So that's sort of what we're offering up, is the same ski that our pro team rides in a wider version, giving you a little bit extra run out to the buoy, and certainly if you're running the boat speed slower, the same. Now you've got a little bit more aid in the ski to help you get out to the buoy.
Most certainly, and Chris Parish, certainly one of the great technicians of this sport over the last few seasons. Even dating back to the 90s, where he won his first junior world title over there at the Shalom Park, which is right outside Edmonton in Canada, in Alberta, Canada. And he showed his potential there, and he's been rocking it as well. He also won a national collegiate title along the way as well, skiing for NLU at that time, which is now ULM's Warhawks. Here we go. This is 39.5 off. Can he make this look as smooth and nearly fault-free as Tebow Daniel? Well, there you go. There's your answer. Ha-ha! 6 buoys, 39.5 off.
Nice. You know what, Tony? Just as Chris was sitting down after his 38 off pass, Could feel a little bit of a breeze. It's been absolutely flat calm this morning. Had the belly sweats going. It is very warm and humid, but we've just got a little bit of a tailwind on that pass. So by the time he got to 4, 5, and 6, he could feel a little bit of a push, I'm sure. And I know he's happy to have that in the bag, and he'll be coming back in at 41 off or the 10.25 meter line.
And yes, indeed, he's has a little bit of a laugh and a joke with those in the boat, and even with some on the starting dock. I mean, one of the first to applaud that pass was actually Freddie Winter, who's not too far away from us on the starting dock right now. You know, so I mean, the pros appreciate what Chris Parish is doing out there, because he's been doing it for like donkey's years now.
Well, and he's a very likable guy, and he's got one of his bromios in the driver's seat, meaning the Rocket Man, Scott Ellis, double dipping off his jump duties, coming over to slalom.
All right, then. Let's have a quick look at the detention leaderboard for the women. Jamie Bow up there with 5:49. Alicia Bagnoli in second right there, and we'll take a look at that in further detail later on. Here we go. Right now, this is 41 off. This is Chris Parish, and it's 1.5. Now that could pose some serious problems for him when it comes down to a tie breaks.
Yeah, same as we were talking about Tebow getting the full 2. You could see Parish try to S-turn back out. He knew once he was leaving 1, he knew all he was hoping for was to get a full 2, because right there you can see he'd lost all his momentum, all his tempo. Right there, I thought he was really okay. He may have asked out a little bit too hard and shut his speed down.
Yeah.
And there you could see once the rope tightened, it tightened too much and he couldn't hang on.
Because if you have no tension in the rope, then you've got no contact with the boat. I mean, everything that's keeping you on top of the water is basically what you've generated up to the point where the slack was introduced into the rope.
Well, there's a real art to doing that S away and then timing that to where you get back to those 2 yellow buoys center line to get the full point. If you don't do it soon enough, you won't be back. If you do it too aggressively like that, the rope will tighten on you too much. So it's a tough challenge to manage that. And unfortunately, he didn't. He could be in that same situation as Zane, where this is literally a throw-out score.
Yeah. All right, then. Looks like we've got our next competitor on the starting dock ready to go. That is Corey Vaughn. I don't know how long it takes to actually get from Southern Virginia over to Central Florida, but that's a fair old hike, that is.
It is. They came down in their motorhome. They're camping out here on the site. And you already saw his wife, Amelia. She was our second skier in the water this morning. And they run a water ski bed and breakfast on the outskirts of the D.C. area. And Corey's a big dude. If you stand next to him, he's almost as big as the tower, Chris Parish, but he's probably a solid 6'3", maybe 6'4". It certainly helps when the rope gets really short. There we can see us another 32 off start. That's what we're going to see with all the men. I don't think we'll see any 35 offs. We may see a few opt-ups coming later in the event.
May well be. Okay, let's have a look and see. Not bad. Corey Vaughn, this is 32 off.
And so what I'm meaning by an opt-up is, I know there's a couple of skiers in the field that on a regular basis will go 32 off, skip the 35 off for the 12 meter, and go to 38 off because they're reckoning they like one end of the lake better than the other, and they like being that one pass more fresh when they do get to whichever pass, whether it's the 10-7 or the 10-2, that they're really ultimately setting up for.
Indeed, and with the opt-up, a lot of what determines whether you opt up or not is really, in most cases, it's the wind conditions. You know, you come in on a safe pass, type deal, and then you realize the wind's not all that bad. I should have gone, but it should have gone a pass later. Let's get back to schedule.
Well, or a situation like here where it's absolutely perfect, where they're not really having to worry about, well, is it a headwind or tailwind? So they're not necessarily picking their spot. What they may like, because most of these guys have skied here, they may like one end of the lake better than the other. Normally, for our visual base, we'll have a preference. So I like the top end or the bottom end. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see if any of them make this choice.
All right, let's see what he can do at 35 off. And there you go. Not bad. He's right foot forward, which means his 1-3-5 side is his neutral side turn. And his gate 2-4 is his better side. Even weight, still 6 buoys. And it looks strong.
Well, not only is he strong, he rides his ski really light. Nice balanced position over the ski on the gate turn in. And then you see just how quiet his feet were. We saw a few of the other skiers getting bounced off that right-hand gate. Not Corey there. His ski was riding so light in the water, just literally sliced right through it, allowing him to gain max course width before ball one. That was a nice pass.
Certainly, and looking in great shape, Corey Vaughn. Can't really fault him too much for that pass at all. 35 off, second pass in now.
Well, for all these guys, Tony, sorry about that. I would say all of these guys should run 4 passes. They should all run 10-7 and have a shot at 10-2.
And they should have the conditioning enough to make it there as well. Because
absolutely,
yeah, certainly. And I mean, slalom skiers come in all shapes and sizes. Some are real light. Some are I would say heavier, but you'll see some differences in terms of technique, and they're just a philosophical approach to the event.
Well, similar to a golf swing, when you watch golf on TV, or if you've been to a pro golf event, they all have a little bit different stylistic approach, if you will, and that's sort of the way. If we're throwing a football, if we're swinging a tennis racket, all things would be everybody have their own little quirks or specialties, if you will.
You're talking about DeChambeau right now, aren't you?
But you see with Corey, he's built, he's tall, he's lean, and he uses that to get himself into that stack position. And I heard some of the guys earlier, Fred Winter, and that they were bantering on, is it better to be tall? Does the guy with a lot of reach have the advantage, or does the short, really powerful guy have the advantage? And I always say it depends.
All right, so let's see what Corey Vaughn can do. He's gotten through 32, 35. That was 38. 39 and a half off comes up next. Having seen what the field has done so far, and with 6 skiers to go, I think Corey Vaughn has a pretty darn good idea of what it's going to take to actually advance after the second round. Now, don't forget, a backup score comes into play. So you got to ski consistently well, not only in just round 1, but maybe round 2 as well. 39 and a half off. Look at him go. Oh, look at that. Whoa! He left it late, but he managed to make it through.
Well, very similar. I expected these gentlemen to go down and back twice and run through the 39 pass, which they know they're going to have to advance to tomorrow afternoon's final. See a little bit of the tip come up, not bad. Aggressive there too. You can see the hands come in. He knew he was going to have some slack, so he monitored that by bringing the hands in, but then he let them right back out. You saw it again at 4. That's what the pros do so well. If they do have to bring their hands in, they can immediately let them right back out to get into that angulated stack position so they can get their cross-course speed. It's a big safety check at 5.
Ooh,
a lot of
there you
slack
go.
there at 6.
I used to remember seeing Patrice Martin do that on a regular basis. It looked painful.
Well, it is. If same as we talked about CP's S turn, trying to get the full 2, trying to manage the S turn and get out the gates is another art form in itself.
All right, here we go. This is Corey Vaughn. This is 41 off 10.25 meters. Best score that we've seen so far is 2. And it looks like at the very least he's going to get it. Does he make a play on 3? Oh, that's going to be a camera review on that one.
You know, I think, Tony, well, that could be enough for sure, but he certainly had the full 3. I think he just tried to do his S-turn a little too soon. We talked about CP doing it too late, but once he gets out of the back of 1, he knows he's got a good enough stack position to get to 3, and he's like, hey, I'm going to 3. You could see his action in and out of 2 was all about, I'm going to get the ski outside 3.
Whoa.
And then right there, you just see him just panic wanting to come in a little bit sooner than he should have. And when that does, a lot of times the ski will actually check up and go dead straight down the lake on us.
Yes, indeed, we're going to take a look at this instant replay from the boat, and we're going to have a look at this frame by frame around buoy number 3 to determine whether he actually got anything on that play for that buoy. Oh, hang on. Whoa.
Yeah, I think he got it.
That's 2.5.
Yeah, I think that 2.5 is going to be right on the cut line, I think, at the end of the day. We obviously have to wait till tomorrow morning when they do their second round, but
so it looks like a single buoy separates the top 3 right now between 1.5 at 41 and 2.5 at 41. That would be between Parish in 3rd, Tebow Daniel in 2nd, and Corey Vaughn in 1st right now.
And up next there we see the Sledgehammer, Adam Sattelmeyer, our 2-time world overall champion.
Sorry it didn't work out this week.
All right. And probably been quite busy recently, especially with some of the hurricanes that have impacted a lot of southern states, because he's actually involved in the sign making industry.
I did not know that, but I know Adam's a recent father, so that always adds a sort of a relaxed state to the skiing. It's when you get this 7 or 8 minutes of peace and quiet, the skiing doesn't sort of take on quite the intensity that it might pre-fatherhood.
All right, just saw something there on Corey Vaughn so far as his ratio right there. This now is Adam Sattelmeyer. Comes to us out of the Czech Republic. Good style, good technique. Not moving around too much on the ski, I have to say.
No, he's really, really balanced. He's not quite as big as the last couple of skiers that we've seen that are really quite tall. He's more around maybe 5'11", 6 foot, but we talked about his athletic prowess on a trick ski. He's really, really unbelievable to watch if you can pull up any YouTube of him. And then obviously one heck of a jumper as well to be the world overall champion.
All right, so that is Adam Sattelmeyer. We looked at our exclusive TWBC water cam, giving us a unique live view of the skiers as they go by that number 2 on the opening and odd numbered passes, and 5-ball coming back.
Well, you mentioned Patrice a few moments ago, Tony, and we have both Tebow and Adam here who are very similar to Patrice. They're unbelievable overall skiers, yet their single best event may be men's slalom, and now to the point where they're pushing the specialist, into those final few spots for tomorrow.
All right, so let's have a look and see what Adam Sattelmeyer can do. This is going to be 35 off.
Really balanced gate glide, meaning he's going to be able to get a lot of ski in the water on the gate turn, getting a lot of angle. Yeah, very balanced, very even on both sides. Where you'll see some of the skiers will tend to be a little more aggressive on their heel side.
Oh, yeah.
Where Adam's really, really balanced both sides, and that aids in his being efficient on the water.
And being able to stay relatively calm on that slalom ski, that actually aids in the speed being able to be generated from course to course. Because if you move around on your ski too much, it's like it's like any kind of similar sport. It's scrub, isn't it? You know, I mean, like in IndyCar and in NASCAR, they talk about it all the time. You know, if you run, the smoother you run, the faster you be. And your tires don't melt and get sticky and get slippery and you weave all over the road type deal. This is the same deal.
Well, and then unfortunately, our ski doesn't know this, but when the tip comes up on the back of a buoy and then we engage with our feet, now we've jammed the back of the ski in the water. And so imagine if you're riding on your bicycle up a hill, but you had the brake on.
Yeah.
So essentially now you're trying to ride across side to side with the brake on, and you mentioned Adam is on the other end of that. He's very, very rarely off a good line, so he's able to relax his feet and just let the ski keep turning.
Yes, indeed. Let's have a look at Adam Sattelmeyer, 38. Oh, little bit of an elbow dip on buoy number 1, but the experience comes into play here. When the chips are down, what can you rely upon to get you from one end of the course to the next? Your smarts.
See a little safety check there, 5, but we're going to see just an unbelievable ball 2 and 4. He's a right foot forward skier, so this is heel side. So a little bit of a shoulder dip there, 1. We'd seen that earlier with Tebow, but right here, just perfect 2. All kind of space into 3. And he's just managing this now.
And just look how much he lays it out there with the good counter rotation off buoy number 4. That's something that he's been doing for ages now, and it's really, really helped him out. And in 2011, he was actually the European slalom champion.
Well, the earlier we get out to the buoy, the wider we are, the more space we have, the more we can counter rotate. And that's what we talked about earlier with Manon when she was skiing, and Adam reminds me a lot of Manon as far as his hands stay at the same level when he comes off the handle all the way out to his max reach, all the way back to the handle. The hands stay the same height off the water, and that allows center mass to keep moving forward. And then we just get into that really good stack position, getting that awesome acceleration out of the ski.
And right you are, and the course record here is 1 at 9.75 meters, and 1 of 43 off. I believe that that belongs to Jonathan Travers. Let's have a look and see what we've got. This is Adam Sattelmeyer, 39.5 off. We've seen this run on several occasions. Matter of fact, the last 3 competitors have all run this pass. Will he be the... Oh, and no! Whoa!
Yeah, we're going to see here in the replay, Adam definitely had more of a safety check at 1 than he wanted, but I really thought he did enough 2-3 and recover until what we saw what happened at 5.
Now let's have a look at this again. He managed to get good angle off the turn. It didn't quite get fully stacked going into buoy number 1. That might have actually detracted a little bit from what went on afterwards. But he got into his rhythm. It looked all right. Round number 3, he was still going down course at this point, but nothing he couldn't handle. But now here's his turn coming into buoy number 5. Just watch. Just got broken over the tip of the ski, rode up.
Yeah, I think for sure the ski bit a little bit more than he thought. We talked about the safety check. Well, if the skier thinks that they're going to safety check, but the ski has a mind of its own, if you will, and whether we've engaged our feet too much or the ski is already committed to turn, well, now we're out of sync, and I think that's what we saw with Adam. You can see he wasn't really happy. Be interesting to hear what he has to say about that.
All right, and here's a skier who's become Mr. Consistency over the last few tournament rounds, getting into 41 off for pretty much every single one of them. This is Cole McCormick. There you go. Look at this. This looks steady.
Yeah, Cole's just been on a big rise the last couple of years. I watched him ski out here at Travers. I watched him ski at La Pointe's. You see him skiing on the new La Pointe ski.
Oh, yeah.
And his scores have gotten to where, they're with the best in the world. But what has really gotten good is how awesome he is in adverse conditions. I watched him at the Hilltop and then again at the Malibu just over and over again running the 39.5 off pass in not ideal conditions, but yet didn't seem to phase him.
And I tell you what, from what I'm hearing, Chris LaPointe's phone has been ringing off the hook over the last few weeks, like wanting to know about that ski.
Well, this is good advertising for him.
Oh, wow. And look at that. I mean, it just looks smooth and it looks effortless.
He's just getting better and better. Yeah, the more his confidence goes up, the more his hands and his feet are getting lighter. We talked about that earlier with a few of the guys. The more relaxed they are, then the same, his vision is therefore more relaxed. And once you get a skier in the zone, it's hard to get them out.
Okay, 4 skiers remain after Cole McCormick. We just saw Will Asher there on the dock, and then he will be followed by Benjamin Stadlebaur, Jonathan Travers, and Freddie Winter. Here we go. 6 advance through to the next round as far as I'm able to ascertain. Nice. Boom. He's on it. No worries there for Cole McCormick, and that was indeed 35 off.
So Cole's a lefty. So those of you guys at home, he's doing a 2-hand gate, but watch how much angle he created there. You know, a lot of you may be thinking, well, I need to do a one-handed gate. Nah, not necessarily. Cole's proven right there that a 2-hand gate for a lefty can be very, very efficient and still maximize your angle through the gate, create enough space out the one, which he's just doing a wonderful job of.
All right, so that's Cole McCormick doing a fine job early and wide into number 6. That was at 35 off. That's easy meat for him. Now the line doesn't reach the buoy from this point onward, starting with 38 off, 11.25 meters. For those of you that are that don't know too much about the dimensions of the slalom course, the 6 buoys, the buoys on each side of the center line of the boat is 37.5 feet from the center of the boat line out to the buoys. It's 37.5 feet. So when you take 38 feet off the standard 75-foot line, you do the math. Here we go. Look at this. Bouncing around a little bit, but he just seems to have the knack of being able to just settle everything down right on time, right on cue for the next buoy.
Confidence, Tony.
Yeah. Being
young, 9 foot tall, bulletproof. So, yeah, that's what we got with Cole right now. When you're on a roll, you're on a roll. And that's it. You mentioned he got bounced around a little bit. He probably wasn't really happy with his line. He's pretty good there out of 1.
And having parents who have forgotten more about this sport than most people will know is probably good.
Yeah, not bad, though. Not bad at all. Great start. And then you can see the bounce there, 3 to 4. Were sort of more pronounced. Sometimes that's where he's he had so much load out of 3. We already had it out of 1, but out of 3, that he let the load go a little early. And if we let that go right when we hit that ramp, we call it, that coming out of the trough, it'll kick that ski up. But unlike when we saw Elizabeth do it, she bounced where even though Cole allowed the ski to bounce, he was in control of it there by releasing his feet.
And some of our folks underneath the tent there enjoying the action out on the water and trying to take advantage of the shade there. They've also got a large screen TV to watch the event. This is 39.5. Oh, look at this. Oh, no! Wow! That is extraordinary.
Yeah, that's the first chink in the armor we've seen in quite some time. He's run a load of 39s in very windy conditions, so I know he's going to be disappointed, but same as Zane, our first skier, he's going to get to start with a fresh tank of gas tomorrow, but he won't have a backup score to depend on.
Yeah, indeed, and just taking a look at this approach into buoy. No. Yeah, that's all it was. That ski just making contact with the line. And that is enough for 3, I believe. 3 at 39.5 off. And from having 3 consecutive skiers go through at 39.5 off to having the previous 2 skiers not able to make it anymore, make it through 39, the tables are turning, I believe. Well,
they are. We obviously won't know the real cut line until the 5th skier tomorrow. The first 4 will go tomorrow, and that will establish the cut line. It could be based on today's score. It could be based on tomorrow's score, but then we'll know. But as we mentioned earlier, what these guys are going after, if they don't get a 3 or more at 41, is they at least get a backup score.
Yes, indeed, and we've got some skiers that are actually watching this event. Glenn Campbell is watching. You remember him from back in the day. Dane Meckler, a more contemporary skier who's currently working right now, and they're tuning in to watch the likes of Will Asher go out there at 32 off and just slicing and dicing it out there.
Well, hey Glenn, how's it going? I skied against Glenn many times, and my last victory was at the Princess Pro-Am, and it was very cool because
got International Hall of Famer Mike Hazelwood checking in as well, and this place right here, this very ski school, maybe not at this very location, mind you, because when ITS was actually created, it was actually split between a couple of lakes not too far away in that in the direction. But I mean, yeah, Mike Hazelwood, he was one of the originals of ITS.
No, he was. We talked about we're here at the Travers Ski School. Thank you guys so much for hosting the Grand Prix here. But they've hosted so many champions over the years, and when I came here, there was none other than Mike Hazelwood and Sammy Duvall, the two best in the world. Yeah.
All right, then let's have a look and see what Will Asher can produce. Will Asher, 2-time World Slalom champion. And many-time medalist. Let's not forget the medals that he's placed on the podium in the World Championships he didn't win.
Well, so think about this, Tony. So of the Masters and the Malibu Open and Diablo, which is 3 really long-standing, maybe the biggest 3 events in the U.S., he's won each event 5 times plus.
Yeah.
So we're talking, he's got more than 15 pro wins just from the 3 majors.
Yes.
Right alone. So when you throw in all of the European titles, Moomba, all his world titles, it's really as decorated as any skier that we have.
Yes, indeed. And I mean, Will Asher was on an absolute tear last season. I mean, he'd gone through San Gervasio, he won the Malibu Open, French edition, Malibu Open, U.S. edition. I mean, it was absolutely unstoppable last season.
And he's a really nice guy. If you get the chance, just have a chat with him. He loves what he does. I ask him not too long ago, Will, how much longer are you going to do this? He goes, I don't know, I'm having fun. And that's, how many people get up and go down to the dock for their job?
Absolutely right. I mean, can't fault him for that whatsoever. Here we go. This is 38 off. And I'm beginning to think that as the wind starts to get up a little bit, it might actually change the tactics on one or two of our skiers, Maybe when the wind started to get up was probably the reason or two for Adam Sattelmeyer and Carl McCormick coming up a little bit short.
Well, it's just barely coming up, and then it dies down. Right now we're feeling more of a breeze than we felt all day. The one thing the skiers do have in the bank is another round of qualifying tomorrow. If it was a one-round qualifier, as the wind would come up, absolutely those decisions come into play.
Yes, indeed, and it looks like a good few of my friends from the United Kingdom are tuning in their masses and seeing Will Asher Slansky. They've got another British skier coming up within about the next 2 to 3 competitors. That's of course Freddie Winter. But a shout out obviously to Nathan McGarry, you're watching there, thank you very much, and to a former British barefoot water ski team member Richard Crossland, who's tuning in as well. So thanks a lot, you guys, and we certainly appreciate your support. All right, so on the dock, that is Benjamin Stadlebaur.
I'm actually Facebook friends with both of those guys. So hey guys.
All right, yes indeed. Probably been a while when most people have probably forgotten that Richard Crossland was on the British barefoot team, but I'm giving you your kudos for that. Here we go. This is 39.5 off for Will Asher. Look at him go. Last 2 competitors we've seen have failed to run this past. The free skiers before had all done so, and I tell you what, we're back on track now.
Yeah, I wouldn't have put any money against him not running this. We see he gets a fairly tidy gate in 1, and he finishes the deal on 2. And you can see just how long he turns at ball 3, how patient he is. We see a little S-turn out, meaning he moved away on the gate before he came back in. Look at the tip of the ski, just grabbing all kinds of angle there. And that's what I meant, backside 2. Maximize his space, and then he just turns forever here at 3 because he's so early. He knows he's got the pass in the bag.
Pass is definitely in the bag. Pass is definitely in the bag. Actually, more to the point, it's in his back pocket. And now it's going to be 41 off, 10.25 meters. So let's have a look and see what Will Asher can do. All right, here we go. Coming into the course, this is now Will Asher. 41 off, 10.25 meters. Round 1. Oh, taking a big old tug on number 1. He's round number 2. He's trying to... Oh, that is 2.5.
Well, I guess you could say perks of the job. I got to ride in a boat and watch Will do a practice run yesterday, and he ran the 41 off, the 10.25, and then he came in. So once he safety checked 1 here, he knows he wants to get a score of at least a piece of 3, and he rips the back of 1. You see there a little delay there.
Yeah.
But, man, he gets right back in here at 2, so much so that he goes for broke here at 3, knowing he's at least already outside it. And, unfortunately, buried the ski in the water, and that was it.
Now we've got a tie with 2.5.
Those would be the best 2 scores. Oh, Willie's the 4th seed, so there's 3 after. So what we're talking about is there's he and Corey Vaughn both have a 2.5 at 41, and now we would have Tebow with a 2 at 41. Those are the top 3 scores.
Yeah.
With 3 skiers left. So we'd already mentioned that we're looking at somewhere right in that 2.25, 2.5 being the cut line.
All right then. So we're continuing right along, and because of the whole mess with the pandemic and stuff, a lot of the pro skiers unfortunately have not been able to travel outside of their native lands to actually make it to a lot of the pro events. You know, one of those competitors actually watching us right now is Robert Pagozzi, a friend of yours as well, and I won't. I won't mention what he says, but I mean, I think he's kidding around with us a little bit here.
What's up, Roberto? I got to make it down as soon as this thing's over. I told you I want to come down to the Dominican and do some water skiing with you down there.
All right then. So our next competitor. Let's have a look at the rope tension record, and it's 483 kilograms. 1,064 pounds, and that belongs to, guess what, the skier that's on the water right now from Switzerland. It is Benjamin Stadlebaur. 30-meter start, I would imagine. I don't see anyone going any shorter, and I certainly don't see anyone going any longer.
Benny's been working on his gates over the last few years, and he's getting much more efficient on his move outbound, and he's getting up on the boat. We call it being wider or higher on the boat. And he's sort of mastered his little S turn out. So he's getting much better looks back on the gate entry, which is getting him out to 1 early, and his results on the pro list have shown accordingly. You can see it right there. Really nice move.
Well, I tell you, whew. And, you know, I know the style that many measure their own against over the years has been the great Andy Mappel, of course. And from what I've seen of the pro skiers in recent times, this is about the closest I've seen to it.
Well, certainly his 135. His 2.4, not so much. But you can see the way we talked about it earlier with Manon, and then again with Tebow and Adam. You can see Benny there, his left hand swings forward and up into that toe side into his 1.3, and the right hand comes back at a very even tempo. And then just the way he sort of rotates the handle over, looks just like Sir Andy.
All right then, that towboat producing the 465 foot-pounds of torque from a 450 horsepower engine. It is the 6.2 litre PCM engine within that ski nautique produced by Correct Craft on the waters of the world since 1923. All right then, here we go. This now is Benjamin Stadlebaur at 35 off. There you go. Not bad. Smooth, decent. Nothing spectacular, but then again, it is 35 off.
Yeah, he's very still. We're going to see on the replay here. Watch right here. Look how much he edges out. You can see the water breaking towards the boat as he's moving himself outbound. So he maximizes turn-in angle. And that's about as wide as you could get out before ball one. You know, he was just as efficient as you could possibly be.
All right, so just looking once again here at Benjamin Stadlebaur as he makes a play on buoy number 5. By that point at 35 off that pass was money in the bank. And there we go. That is Benjamin Stadlebaur. Now, let's see what he can do. He can do it 38 off.
Just recently, PB'd 4 at 10.25, which is a Swiss national record. So congratulations, Benny, on that.
All right, here we go. Let's see what we've got here for Benjamin Stadlebaur. Still a little ways away from getting to the pass where he can challenge his own Swiss national record. This is just poetry in motion. Right there. Nicely done. Can't fault him for that at all.
Well, we talked about it with Adam earlier. There's that certain point in the course where the skier knows they've made the pass, and we saw it at 35 and then again here at 38 with Benny, where he knows he's made it, so he gets more loose. Confidence is at its peak. Yeah, that's pretty darn good backside one ball 38. And then once he finishes 2 right there, he knows it's money in the bank. And like we talked about football, or we're talking about soccer, and you're playing with a 2-goal lead, it's you play with a little more sort of flair, if you will, than if you're 2 goals behind.
But much like soccer and much like a lot of sports, you can't afford to take your foot off the gas either. Especially when it comes down to 39 and a half off,
Well, that's where if you do get the lead, you need to manage it well. And we've talked about that when the skiers do get it and they've got that extra space, they'll use that safety check, or they'll use sometimes just sheer power to overcome, knowing I can't finish as a swimmer. I got to stay a skier.
All right, so be that as it may, let's have a look at Benjamin Stadlebaur. This is 39 and a half off. This is 10.75 meters for those that use the metric system. Round buoy number 1 hooks up. Look at this. Look how much he allows that ski to fully rotate off buoys number 3 and 5. Oh, no! And just like that, that puts him in a tie with Adam Sattelmeyer with 5 at 39.
Tony, he was in a lot better position than Tony was than Adam. I don't know what happened, because 3 and 4, you see his one ball just spot on there.
And because
nice 2, space into 3, you think at this point, hey, he's got it.
And to spare our PG audience of any kind of even mild expletives, I think he had a BF there on buoy number 5.
Yeah, that was, if I were to put my finger, I'd say he safety checked a fraction too long and allowed the tip to come up too much.
Okay, we can go
speed out of 4.
We could definitely go into more forensic detail here on buoy number 5 once we get to that point, because around that number 3, I was commenting here that he allowed that ski to come up underneath him, and that was what kept him on the game. But I think a lot of it started on the tail end of number 4, and then he brought the handle in, just rocked in onto the tip of his ski, and it was goodbye, Mr. Bond. All right then, now we've got Jonathan Travers. And if you're talking about someone who's a real grinder in this sport, check this guy out. 32 off. There you go. 6 buoys, 32 off. No worries there, Wade.
Well, obviously, this is John's home site. His dad, Jack Travers, started the ski school in 1973, and they had a dream, a vision to have this man-made facility. So by 1985, this lake was under construction. We were skiing there by 86. And then eventually, John became one of the best slalom skiers in the world, and we're watching him today. He's an absolute technician. You see, he may move around on the ski a little bit more than we've seen some of the others, but what you do see him do really, really good is get back to that stacked, powerful position so he can create all that speed. Super strong young man.
All right, so there you go. Yep, JT out on the slalom course doing a fine job, and doing a fine job in actually executing this event, the 2020 Travers Grand Prix. Along with his parents, along with Chris, along with a whole bunch of others that are resident here at this site. They come together.
A huge shout out to Jack and Leilani. As you mentioned, big brother Chris. They're an awesome host to have us here. 3rd annual Travers Grand Prix. couldn't be more thankful.
All right, here we go. 35 off. Just nice and slow as she does it. 35 off. So, Jonathan Travers in through 35 off, getting ready for 38 off, and really don't see that much wrong, and every skier up to this point has run 35 off. I would say about slightly under 50% of skiers have run 39.5 off. About the remaining percentage have run 38 off. So there we've got Jonathan Travers 35 off and looking smooth, and taking a look at it from the water level, and that just gives you a really, really up close and personal look of slalom skiing, Wade.
Weekend, that's great. I love that buoy cam. We could see John coming into the buoy there, into his heel side, move more forward enough than we've seen some of the other skiers. You'll see John move forward and aft a little bit more. And I made the comment a while back, he's sort of like the Jimi Hendrix of slalom skiing. He does things different than the other guys, but with this magical result, if you will.
Jimi Hendrix is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Let's see. Here we go. We've got Jonathan Travers. I actually prefer Robert Plant myself, but there you go. 38 off. Nicely done. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, he just had so much time there. If you ever get to ride in a bud and watch this guy ski, he can run that pass and never change his facial expressions. I mean, it's just how relaxed he can be, how aware he is of where he is in the course. That's really his gift. We talked about sort of the guitar playing in between each note, if you will, in the course here. John knows where he is and what he's gonna do next. And if we don't have good course awareness and don't have good visual skills, good chance that's not gonna happen.
All right, so let's see what we've got now. We've got 39.5 off. Now, we had a streak of people running through 39.5 off that we generally thought was going to extend all the way between then and the end of the event. But then we got into a little bit of a rut where the next two skiers failed to run it. Then we saw Will Asher, who ran 2.5 at 41 to tie for the lead with Corey Vaughn. And then we saw Benjamin Stadlebaur go with 5 at 39.5 off as we take a quick look at, I think, is that Adam Sattelmeyer with a shotgun? I think it is. Right, just trying to forget what happened out there on the slalom course just a few minutes ago, and what better way to do it than with some skeets. Here we go. Yeah, he also has the opportunity to watch on the big screen that's right next to the shooting range, and he will see, if he turns his head around long enough, a 39.5 off pass by Jonathan Travers. All right, back on track
nice
again.
Work. Yeah, John, he skied that very much like the 11 meter, the 38 off pass. He was very patient. You mean, seeing a big safety check at 4, but he managed that well. Tight one. Yeah, nice. You can see his hands come up just a little bit, but immediately just relaxes the biceps, lets the handle right back out so he's in his lean position. Yeah, nice work, John. So basically what we're looking at now is if John gets 2 at 41, and we would assume that our last skier, Fred Winter, is going to, so that's putting our cut line right about where we thought, Tony, at 2 at 41 or better.
Something like that, yeah.
And where they're going to need something like that as a backup score as well.
All right, then. And Adam Sattelmeyer, taking a quick look at him once again. Just popping off a few rounds. Bam, there you go. Looking pretty good there, and looking pretty good on top of the water is going to be Jonathan Travers as he approaches the slalom course Here and now, right off the dockside turn. This is 41 off. If he gets more than 2.5, he takes the lead. Let's see what he's got. Buoy number 1 takes it. Buoy number 2, he's still on top of his ski. Buoy number 3, he's still there. Can he get a piece of 4? No, but he's in the lead with 3 at 41 off. That is Jonathan Travers.
Yeah, that was nice skiing. I would almost guarantee that would be enough. It's going to be very hard pressed for 6 skiers to beat that score in tomorrow's round. He is leader in the clubhouse at the moment with only 1 skier left. And his 1 was so good, to be honest. I really thought he had a chance to go downtown. And here at 2, he gets plenty of rotation there.
Ooh.
Yeah, maybe got a little bit excited there at 3, wanted to go a little sooner than he should have. But great skiing nonetheless.
All right, the hometown favorite here. Yeah, there you go, Jonathan.
Getting a huge round of applause here from his biased crowd.
And that is going to set up a really good backup score as well. I mean, let's think about it. I mean, if he manages to exceed that score and he has 2 or has 3, there's a good chance he'll end up in the final.
Yeah, I don't know if at this point he's going to need a backup. That would take 6 guys to beat him the next round.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a bunch of scores. So I'm thinking that 3 is going to be in, and those we got a pair of 2.5s on the board, and those 2 will become sort of bubbles or backup scores as needed.
Yeah, a lot of things, a lot of mental calculations, a lot of speculation goes on with this type of thing, but it really honestly comes down to what you can show up with on the water. And the guy that's done that on a number of occasions is Freddie Winter, who comes to us out of Wandsworth in London. Here he comes, accelerating up to speed, 58k, 36 miles an hour, 32 off. Freddie Winter, let's see what he's got.
So we saw the first skier of today's pros was Brianne Dodd doing a one-handed gate, and I think we've seen all two-handed gates up to now, but Fred was the world champion doing a one-handed gate and then chose to, think outside the box, if you will, and he tried the two-hand gate, and it seems to have worked because last year he was on an incredible tear. Yeah,
absolutely, and he also ditched the rear binding too, went back to a Fruit Loop. And just take a look at this, just whipping the ski around. Now your approach and your balance on that slalom ski can really differ significantly depending upon the binding setup that you use. I mean, you could decide to use a rubberized binding, like a Wiley's or something like that, or go with like the full solid, the solid hard shell bindings, which the majority of pro slalom skiers use. The back binding, that is open to a heck of a lot of interpretation.
Well, certainly what ideally we want to be on our front foot, right or left foot forward. The ski doesn't know if we're right or left foot forward, nor does the course. So the ski designers are building the ski for it to be balanced in the middle. Mm-hmm. So requiring a bit more precision in the front binding than the back, allowing for a little greater disparity in that back binding.
Okay, taking a look at our statistics there for Jonathan Travers, 4.4 to 1, his body weight ratio against the tension that he put against that towboat. That is going to be our determining factor for whether we give out that $500 check and a brand new slalom rope. But you're watching the guy that's been winning a lot of those battles, just by pure muscle against the towboats, and that's Freddie Winter.
Well, yeah, when we deal with the strength to weight ratio, his weight is up. He's a big guy, and his strength is way up. So he's sort of winning on both ends of the deal.
All right, so let's have a look and see. what Freddie Winter can conjure up with the next pass. Now, that wind's starting to gust up a little bit.
He'll be back into the wind on this third pass, putting his fourth pass to 10-7 with the tailwind. And yeah, Tony, that's maybe the most significant wind gust we've had yet today.
All right then, and I tell you what, Freddie Winter, when he was in his youth and training at places like Prince's and Thorpe and those places, in a lot of instances, you took the boat out, you launched the boat to actually crack up the ice. And
well, we already mentioned Glenn Campbell, Will Asher, Andy Mapple. Obviously, the fellows from on the other side of the pond know how to ski in the cold.
Yes, I certainly do as well. Trust me, I was part of those winter training sessions over at Thorpe and Prince's. All right then, here we go. This is Freddie Winter. This is 38 off. Knows he can't afford to put too much of a foot wrong.
Yeah, very similar to JT's 38. Just very light pass. You didn't see him overworking it. He got enough width on the gate, enough speed back through the gate that he knew he was going to be able to just chill, let his ski do the carving that it wants to do, and that would take him back into that stack position, and virtually no trouble at all with this pass.
There you go. Actually brought his chest up a little bit off buoy number 1. This is 38 off. No worries there for him at all, as he continues to be on a tear out there on the slalom course. Looking strong. And certainly strength for part of his package out there on the slalom course. And there you see 38 off, easy money there for him. So let's have a look and see. Let's have a look. The top score right now is 3 at 41. That's Jonathan Travers. We got a 2-way tie for second between Corey Vaughn and Will Asher. So those are your top 3 right now. And then you've got a 2 for Tebow Daniel, a 1.5 for Chris Parish. So those are kind of your top 5 right now. And every other skier has come up short in respect to running 39.5 off.
Big tailwind now, Tony. We haven't seen this yet today.
39 tail. Let's see what he's got. Oh, nice number 1. Driving that ski. Keeping it rocking. Boom. A little bit of safety check there on 4. Even more off number 5, but he still had room to spare to get round buoy number 6.
Yeah, just no worries. Yeah, he just didn't have any trouble at all. Managed it well. So he's going to have a slight little head breeze now at 41 at the 10.25 meter line. And per the last couple skiers, I think we may have a shot at it.
All right, so let's just ask you, if you're Freddie Winter at this point, you've run 39.5 off. You have put yourself in a position where you are in the top 5 now because you've run 6 at 39, and whatever score you get beyond there is in 41, and the 4 above you have got scores into 41 off. How much energy do you expend to get deeper and deeper into 41, even if it means taking a big old wipeout?
Well, the really cool thing, Tony, is if Freddie went big here, meaning Urans runs the pass, he could opt out of skiing tomorrow.
He could.
Now that's where, yeah, he may expend a little bit more energy, but guarantee himself a spot in the final, getting to skip the second qualifying round. So that's one strategy that may play. Of course, he's so fit that may not matter at all anyways.
All right, then, here we go. Here he comes, Freddie Winter. This is 41, a delay off number 1. Good round number 2. He's still there on top of the water. He's still there on 3. Can he make it outside 4? Oh, you halfway expected that, didn't you? You halfway expected something like that to happen. All right. We'll find out how much of a play he made on buoy number 4. Additionally, all right,
he
so
did what he needed to do as far as he got a full 3 that matches John with the best score.
Okay,
And-
let's see if he makes a play on 4. Tick, 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 tick. Yeah, he has control. He has the handle. The ski is outside. Tick,
That's
tick,
great
tick.
editing work, guys. Really, really good.
Does it actually make contact with the buoy? We have to go back a little
after
bit
it,
more. He knows how to roll onto his back. I know that much. Okay, so at the very least he gets 3. I think he'll probably get 3.5 for that, which means he does have the lead ahead of Jonathan Travers. So we're taking a look. So we're taking a look at this instant replay once again. Wade, you're looking at this. Just got off his edges there, off buoy number 3, and that ski might have made it there outside buoy number 4.
Yeah, we'll wait on the judge's decision there. Did the cool little body slide after.
All right, so some good driving there by Scott Ellis. No, we're going to have to get used to saying that Scott Ellis boat driver rather than Scott Ellis jumping athlete. I guessing it had to happen eventually. But this is Wade Cox to my right and to your left. This is Will Asher to my left and to your right. So, Will, what's up?
Just over here in sunny Florida.
Just
Enjoying my pretty much my home site these days. So I'm having a great time here.
Good. Now, you slalomed 2.5 at 41, which for a little while at least was the lead. Now, whenever you're considering what type of score will make it into the finals, what was going through your mind in respect to that? And you come up with 2.5 at 41.
I didn't even know what the cut was, honestly.
The pro wasn't. Well, I mean, no one really knew the cut, but I mean, based upon your best estimates and knowing exactly what everyone is capable of doing on these kind of conditions, you must have thought, hey, a decent amount into 41 off would probably see me through.
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine a piece of 3 would probably get you into the top. I don't know how many go through, 6 or 8. I don't even know.
Well, we're taking a look at your final run here at 41 off. Round buoy number 1. Ooh, a little bit of a hand fumble there on buoy number 1, but you
What's
still.
wrong with that? That was perfect. Hand fumble? What are you talking about?
Yeah, indeed. You were struggling to get that handle off the deck.
Oh, it's 41 off. You're gonna see lots of stuff.
There you go. Look at this. A nice.
Yeah, actually, Will, it looked like out of 2 you had it sort of back where you wanted it. Maybe would you get a little maybe anxious at 3?
Yeah, something like that. That was definitely the start I wanted.
Okay.
Worked on a few things this week.
Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this quote-unquote handle fumble here.
You show me your one at
Look
40.
right.
You show me your one at 41, Tony. Then we'll talk about.
All right. I concede to you at this
There's a lot of
point.
noise going on, but what's more important is what the ski's doing, what's the body doing, is the rope tight, all those fun things. I mean, what I was blown away was actually watching Corey Vaughn ski at 5 at 39.
Wow.
That was incredible. That guy had so much patience at 5, and then that, I would say that would have been a fumble. But 41's weird. The line's so short, the boat's coming on you so quick. All we're trying to do is stay within a certain space, and whatever the body does is what the body does, and it doesn't matter. It could look really noisy. There could be a lot of stuff going on, but really it's just about trying to keep control, and then you basically use all the tools you have at your arms. But at that point, you don't have a whole lot, right? Where it could be messy, but it could internally feel like the best thing ever.
Well, and I was mentioning earlier, sometimes once we get a bad visual, that almost triggers some of those physical movements, because we see, oh my gosh, I'm in trouble. Our body knows I've got to move into this position, and I got to do it right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like we have, at this point we have so many reps at 41. It's like, okay, maybe the ski rotates quick because you got a nice gate, a good swing out, and it comes under you a little quicker. So you've got to be a little bit more agile. Maybe make a quicker movement than you used to. Maybe you got to rush back to the handle. Maybe that's going to be better in certain situations. So I mean, I'd agree with you, Tony. It definitely looked like there was a lot going on, but it was more of a just me resetting and knowing at a certain point in the course I got to be in this position.
Yeah.
Sometimes just taking the quickest path to get back to that. Like I really don't care. Like if my arm's up over my head and I'm scratching my ear, it doesn't matter. It's like as long as it's like get hooked up and I've got that drive into the first wake, so I can kind of take the handle back out to 2. You know, if I could have definitely made it look prettier at 1, but then there's no way I would have been able to reset and then keep the line at 2 to be able to crank it, hook up, and then be tight line again coming into 3.
I'm just happy you agree with me on something.
Well, so really, let's talk about that. When you ran
You
your
won that one. I don't know.
when you ran your 39, I talked about you were so tight at 1, you were so tight at 2. You got out of 3, and you already run the pass. Basically, you had all this space. Is every year, like we'd be at Callaway Gardens at the Masters, and people say, what should I watch? I'll say, watch Will when he gets really, really early at 38 or 39 into ball 3 or 5. You see that you get up on the boat so much that the rope is actually loose.
Yeah.
It's got a bow in it. But what you have this, we talked about your vision, you have this innate ability just to chill and ski back into a stack position.
Yeah.
You're talking about whether your hands might be moving forward, back, or a little out of sort. You got this sort of ability to see it and go, hey, man, I'm early, just chill.
Yeah.
And allow you. You talk about just watch what the ski's doing. Well, one of our guys, Mike Ferrara, back in the day, he's talked about us, just watch the skis sometimes. We'll get tricked by what the body does, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I hear it so many times, you know, a coach they'll fixate on something that just really, God, just does not matter. It's not important at all. And it's like, and you're right, you know, oftentimes 1 and 2 will be the messiest buoys of the past, and a lot of it's about just trying to sometimes get on that line, and maybe they're going to be messy because the gate pullout wasn't exactly what you wanted. So even, you know, sometimes just from the pullout, you're like, okay, I know that maybe I'm going to be a little bit hot into 1. Like, get ready for it. Like, let's get those cat-like reflexes in check. Just make it messy. Just make sure, you know, if someone takes a picture coming out of 2, you're back to this position. That's what that was. Yeah. And oftentimes by, you know, you make that stress at 1 and 2, and then chilled at 3, 4, 5, and the whole pass goes down and looks easy.
All right then. So we've got Will Asher there. Wade's going to take a little bit of a buzz one break or something like that.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, these are the top 2 skiers right now. We've got JT here. We've got Will Asher. So JT, how was that?
Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. Feels a little different out there. It is my home site, but we've had very extremely high winds the last 2 weeks. So this is the first day, and luckily it's today that the wind has died down, and it just feels a little bit different than what we've been skiing behind the last 2 weeks. So other than that, it's amazing. It felt great. It's kind of hard to do 2 jobs at once, but, you know, hey, I put it on myself, so it's all my fault.
Okay, now I've got you 2 here. You can hold on to that microphone. I want you to do, between the 2 of you, do self-analysis on each other. Okay, so you first
I think his shorts are a bit too flappy.
As you,
That's funny.
You're the second place skier.
Watch his 41, and I thought he turned 2 really well here. He came out.
This is your one.
Oh, this is me. I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah.
Your
But-
one was really good.
Yeah, my 1 was good. I just kind of chickened out of 2 to get that full 3, and then I got over to 3, and I'm like, sweet, I can do this. And then I was like, wait, I got to just get my hand on the handle, and then I just stood up, just trying to push and trying to be cautious and not just stay in that rhythm and keep moving through the finish of the turn. So, and then I just can't do what Freddie does. There's no way I can throw myself.
You
So
can't throw yourself and roll.
no, there's always tomorrow, man. Always tomorrow.
I mean, sometimes like coming out of that 2, that's like one of the best 2s and weight crossings going out to 3. And it looked like you had tight line. It's almost like you could see your eyes. You're like, oh yeah, this is going to happen.
Yeah, and I definitely, I came into 3 and I was like, this is it. And then I was like, wait, I paused. I had to, like, my mind flipped on me and just like, hey, you just got to get back to the wakes to get the top score. And that's kind of smart to do when there's a big cut, but at the same time, it would have been nice to just get rotated and move through the wakes and see what happens on the offside there. But
Yeah.
hey, I'm super stoked.
Imagine next round you get back in that same position, get the same 2, and then you're over to 3. For sure, you're going to start looking across the 4 a little bit.
Yeah, you're
more
just trying.
easily.
Yeah, just move smoother and not worry about trying to get my second hand on the handle. The stupid stuff that you think of when at the moment. So
41. It's so short. There's no time. It's like even when it goes well, it doesn't feel like it's going well.
yeah, exactly. It's just fast. It's really fast. So
You know, guys, I feel there's a podcast coming on with you two.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll have to have like one of those bleeper censor things to
Yeah, for
really
sure.
get us through it. Yeah, like half the content's missing. What?
Especially if Robert Boghosi gets involved.
It'd be called concrete and buoys, something like that.
yeah, all 6.
Yeah, all 6.
So
Cool.
well, Tony, thank you.
Thanks,
You're doing
Tony.
an awesome job, and
I gotta go shoot some guns. So.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's always a good release, isn't it?
Oh,
yeah. Maybe I'll get my neck back into place.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
All
Yeah,
right, then,
thank you.
Take it easy. Have a great one. All right, and we'll return right after this.